Okay, chapter 2. Paradigm shifting lesson about Om Mani Padme Hum. About 2 years ago, I was sitting in my living room. I was a new mom, and I was deep in my spiritual journey. And I had this massive inspiration to look up the Dalai Lama's approach to understanding Om Mani Padme Hum. Now I went on YouTube, and this is what I found. We're actually going to listen to this 3-minute long video of the Dalai Lama speaking about Om Mani Padme Hum.
Always been speaking the prayer Om Mani Padme Hum, but without actually knowing what it means. I've been asking this question to many of my elders, but I failed to get the answer. So, what does it mean?
I don't know whether relevant explain here or not, I don't know. But you see the 6 syllables, Om Mani Padme Hum. So Om, that sort of mantra is common Buddhism and also many different Hinduism, Om. But here Buddhists explain, Om here 3 letters are Oma. That represents our body, mind, speech. So there are 2 levels, body, speech, mind, impure level. That's the basis of suffering. So therefore, the experiencer, pains and pleasure, the body, mind, mainly body and mind, transform into pure, pleasant, ever pleasant body and mind. You see, the body, mind, and then automatically speech also. So that represent our Om. Om represent the impure level, impure part, and pure part. Now, how to transform impure part into pure? Right. 3 impure, transform into pure 3. Then money and Padme. Money means jewel. Here jewel meaning altruism, infinite altruism. Then Padma. Padma means wisdom. So, altruism and wisdom combined. That represents Hum. Hum carry a combination. Altruism and wisdom combined. That's the proper way, method to purify 3 impure in order to become pure 3, body, speech, and mind. Clear? Like that.
Very cool. That was really reforming my mind when I heard that, you know?
Yeah.
Because we've been told Om Mani Padme Hum means I am the jewel of the lotus, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you haven't heard that before, but
no, I hadn't.
It's beautiful. And this woman was asking, you know, it's actually weird. I think in the video that I saw previous to that one, the woman was actually saying, we know I am the jewel of the lotus, but could you give like an updated understanding of that? Like, can you help me understand better? And
that's perfect.
Just to go over what he said a little bit more, Om equates to the body and mind and speech, and it's a note that the impure is being brought into the pure. Mani means infinite altruism, and it's the jewel. I broke down altruism for us. I Google searched the definition of altruism. The Google definition of altruism is selfless concern for the well-being of others. And when we think about divine love, if you think about all of us as a descendant of source consciousness whose goal is to experience divine love, the divine love that it has for itself, that we are all embodiments of, you can see how it makes sense that altruism, the selfless concern for the well-being of others, is in accordance with the divine's will for itself, that we are embodiments of. So Padme equates to wisdom, and wisdom, though I don't have it stated here, wisdom, we can think of it like knowledge, but it's more like knowledge put into action. So it's more like that divine love in action. What the actions that we actually take with the knowledge of that divine love, of that caring concern that we have for others. Whom is a combination of altruism and wisdom. It's beautiful. So one practice we can do is that we can actually hold water in front of us, and we can sing Om Mani Padme Hum into it. And when we drink that water, all that water becomes our cells, and it bypasses our logical thinking so that we are just calibrated to that energy. I'm going to touch on that a little bit more later, but there's still more in this chapter that we have to touch. And this is the fucking bass drop of Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin's... I was praying with water for many months, and the prayer evolved from divine love, just praying divine love into the water, because I just wanted more divine love in my life. Over the course of about a year, it evolved month by month into a different prayer that I was praying into the water, programming into it and programming into myself. And it reached a point where I was praying for my experience of divine masculine. Like divine masculine love in my life. And that transformed to feeling safe enough to begin praying and programming into the water my highest financial success. It began feeling safe enough and divinely appointed enough to pray for my highest financial success. When I started praying for my highest financial success, within 2 days of programming that into the water and programming that into my body, Kuan Yin came forth. As a multidimensional mentor, Kuan Yin approached me and told me this: "Hey Swan, you know that prayer, that legacy that I left on the world, Om Mani Padme Hum?" I'm like, "Kuan Yin, yes, I love that prayer. Like I say it almost every day. Thank you for leaving that legacy." She said, "What do you call your financial currency?" She said, "Swan, they are the same thing. Money and money." She's like, "It's in plain sight."
Cool.
They're the same thing.
Interesting.
So, it's a really interesting concept to reframe our minds around this concept of money. And this is why I say that these lessons are for like intermediate, and I would even call this more of an advanced lesson. When we can start to shift our mind, which in the alchemical practice is the first principle, the mind. From our mind, all things flow. When we can start to shift our minds about money, it's like, which one do you know I'm talking about? In my paradigm, they're the same thing. In my paradigm, money is altruistic. Infinite altruism. Okay? So we're shifting the paradigm where what we earn in the continuum the continuum, money flowing, it might come from our employer into our bank account, and then we do what we want to do with it. The point is that we are God in human form. We have our little ego consciousnesses, we have our little beings that we are, but we are source consciousness experiencing itself, and we are divine inheritors of our own love for ourselves at that source level. So when we welcome in money, which is the infinite altruism, we're tapping into an infinite well of support. Kuan Yin said Swan. They're the same thing. I was like, holy shit. Money and money, like literally. So that's a paradigm shift. When we infinitely tap into that infinite source, we're riding God consciousness. Some people call it Buddha consciousness. Some people call it Christ consciousness. It's the same thing. It's consciousness anointed by itself to allow itself to continue. And one of the qualities of that divine energy is prosperity. Prosperity is our ability to provide abundance for others, because we are this infinite web of God flowing, just attempting time and time again, over and over and over, infinitely, to provide its own love for itself. So when we tap into that divine source and that divine flow and allow the money to flow, we're abundant within the realm of our divine will. And money's flowing. And it's good for us. This slide invites the question, what if the money that we earn or trade something for is actually from an infinite altruistic source for the infinite altruistic source that it is? Amen. This is an invitation to recalibrate your mind to the idea that money and money are in the continuum of receiving and trading infinite altruism. We and our energy are on a continuum from the source of life to right where we are now. A mental shift with this wisdom included has shifted my paradigm, and I believe it can shift yours too. Okay, so we can go into a little bit of practical ways to implement this kind of information. As I stated already, before we trade our money, we can ask ourselves, is this in alignment with the truth of the continuum of energy that I am? We can feel into our yes, and we can feel into our no. We can feel into our maybes. I invite you to consider maybes as a no for now. Maybe later, check in later. Things that may be a yes at one point may eventually evolve to a no. Things that may be a no may evolve to a yes. That's okay. That's just a little bit about discerning, how you're going to continue your money. All right, thanks for listening to that paradigm shifting chapter. It's been my pleasure to bring that to you. Thank you, Kuan Yin, for providing that infinite love.